3, 2.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
What's going on?
Welcome, everyone.
To another episode of Flick Filter. I'm Big Diesel.
I'm the professor.
And today we're going to just do a spoiler review on Blink Twice.
Blink Twice, yes.
Directed by Zoe Kravitz, starring Channing Tatum.
Yes.
Which, of course,
Naomi Acki, is it Acki? That's how you pronounce her name?
I have no clue.
Because that's actually the main character. I mean, Channing Tatum is probably the most well known, but she's the lead, the protagonist. So.
But anyways, spoiler alert! If you have not seen it yet, we're gonna go in depth.
So just for clarity, and then also, what is the actual focus on the Are we? Sorry, I probably should have talked about this beforehand, but
it's all good.
We wanted to do something a little different in this episode.
Yeah.
And so with that, we're having this segment called "Should Christians Watch Blink Twice?" Yeah. So that's what.
Stop telling me to blink twice.
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah. So we're gonna go through that. So should Christians watch this movie? We'll find out by the end of this episode.
Exactly. But what is this about? Which you could probably tell in the trailers, but if you have not seen the trailers, what is this about?
Good question.
Basically, what's her name? Naomi.
Acki. So her character's name is Frida.
Frida, played by Naomi Acki. If I'm mispronouncing, I'm sorry. And she basically is a waitress or whatever.
Yeah, essentially a waitress.
Christian Slater.
Not Christian Slater.
Even though
Slater King.
Yeah, Slater King.
Even though Christian Slater is I see what you did there. I caught it too. See, they knew what they was doing.
Yeah, they do. But anyways, so basically Slater King invites her and her friend Jess to basically a remote island.
But how does that even happen? That part's not really important, is it?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's a series of unfortunate events.
Mm-hmm. See what you did there.
Yeah. But basically, he just invites her out, pretty much.
Yeah. After a chance encounter, if you will.
Yeah, and for some reason, this bothered me through the whole thing. She's had a crush or an infatuation with this guy, so I never really got to why. I think they may have explained it, but I think it's just like a celebrity crush or whatever. But yeah, so they just randomly just go to this crazy guy's island. They don't know nobody and basically the whole thing is about they just go there and drink and do other stuff.
Yeah. She I remember before even going onto the island, she's like, "Man, I need a vacation." And then this whole thing it's like, "Oh, look at that. I get this." She's like, "I get the vacation that I needed." And it's just like, oh, everything starts off great until, of course, it isn't. And it's one of those slow things where
it's a very slow burn. Yeah.
Slow. I wouldn't even say super slow. Well, it is a little slow. Yeah. I will say, yeah.
It depends on who it is,
Yeah, it's because you do go through a good portion of the time on the island where she's having a great time. There's some weird things going on, especially with the native.
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
And
which it never addresses why they were so weird.
Not really. I don't think so. But there was a lot of symbolism with the nails and the red and all the flowers. But yeah, it's all this stuff going on, and
the lizard that was right in the. Remember the opening shot, and you were like, why was that? There's a reason for. There's pretty much a reason for everything, but
yeah, it's very reminiscent of some other. It does remind me of some other films, which we'll probably get into, but there's this kind of descent into. I don't know, not madness, but it's kind of like it gets to the point where all this partying and stuff is going on, and you don't even realize like how much time has passed, what day it is. Yeah. They're kind of in this whole day.
Oh yeah, they're not supposed to have their phones.
Right, and it's funny because when they get to the island, her friend's real hesitant, and then she ends up they all end up giving the phones and the thing, and then it starts off good, and then it slowly
one thing happens and it just snowballs effect. So what should we go into first? First of all, Tatum kills it in this role.
Yeah.
This is the third film he's been in. He's been in Take Me to the Moon with Scarlett Johansson, which he was very good at, and
Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly Me to the Moon. My bad. Yeah.
So good.
And then of course, should we say the other one?
I mean, if you have seen it, spoiler alert for Deadpool and Wolverine. He was.
Maybe not say who he was.
Oh yeah, but he was in there.
He was in there. Yeah.
I was about to quote him too.
No, let's not do that. But if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking.
See, yep.
But no, so yeah, he's been on a roll this year. So it goes out without saying he was very good in this. I think everybody's acting performance was good. There's some people who are like, wow, I can't believe they're in here, but they're in there.
They had your boy Haley Joel Osment,
which is the Sixth Sense guy.
Yeah.
So So, Christian Slater. There's a lot of people.
Gina Davis. I think that was
the
older. She was kind of the older lady that was on the island, and
But anyways, basically it all goes down to where Jess gets bitten by a snake.
Yes, and you knew, at that point you knew something was up because
it's the natives that let you know something's weird, but they just kind of just go about it.
And then they're just like, oh yeah, she's good, she'll be all right, and then all of a sudden you don't see her again, and everybody's just partying, doing their thing.
This reminds me a lot of The Menu. It had the same vibe as The Menu.
Very much. It did have a similar vibe. It was kind of like a mix of The Menu and Get Out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Get Out, it definitely had a lot, especially like the visual, the symbolism, the way they used the natives on the island. I felt like they used it in a similar way that certain people were kind of used.
So basically, should we just get straight into it?
Might as well. We already gave them spoiler alerts. And
so basically, there's a perfume that erases memory. Correct?
I think the perfume erases the memory.
That they get in the bags.
Yeah.
And it comes from a flower?
Right? I think so. Flower, yes.
And then the snake venom brings back the memory.
Yes.
Which is why when Jess got bit, everything started coming back. Excuse me. So yeah, the snake venom, and I think, what was her name in the movie? The main character? Frida just randomly drinks this green drink, and drinks it, and then all of a sudden, she starts realizing Jess is gone after she kind of just was like, oh, I want to stay, after she's pretty much been saying, yeah, we need to do this. And basically just because she thinks she has a thing for Slater King, she just kind of brushes it off, and now it's just, I really don't like Frida. I really didn't like Frida. But, yeah. There's was also tension with another girl.
Yes, we need to bring that up. So, her name is Sarah.
Sarah.
Adria Arjona, she was, in the movie, she's like a former contestant of Survivor, like she won Survivor or something. I think she either won or she was in Survivor for like a while. So I think that kind of foreshadows her being a survivor in a sense. Like she knows how to play the game. She knows how to last.
Yeah, but did it say why because she was looking at, maybe she was jealous of Frida.
I think maybe initially, but then it's revealed that she barely even knew him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why was she was giving looks to Frida for some reason.
I think there was jealousy early on, but I think that was in part because I think she was also infatuated, but she was also like I think she also was she was a victim. They were both victims in a sense, so I think she didn't realize what
all
was going on.
All the women were victims, and then one of the guys was a victim, but it was... I forgot where I was going,
but they end up... she and Frida, they end up essentially joining forces because... they meet in one... I think, was it in the house? And then she's kind of explains everything that's going on. She's like, and they're like...
And then she lets her drink the venom as well.
Yeah.
Which is, if it's venom, why didn't it kill them? Snake venom.
I mean, I think maybe you can have it in like a small dosage.
They were mixing it up in alcohol.
Yeah, they're putting it in tequila, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So yeah, basically, when they wipe their memory, when it's revealed, so basically, they join forces, and while the boys are out to sea on the boat, Frida goes inside to try to get the phones.
Yeah.
And goes into the house. So then when they come back, she didn't realize they're back until, like, it takes a couple, because she was supposed to say something really loud, and I don't think that she heard until...
I do not remember.
But anyways, so basically it comes to this thing to where it's kind of like, I don't know what to describe it, but she's in the house, he's in the house, so you don't know if she's going to get caught. So basically she gets out, she sees photos of her in the long hair, and I think she had to, one of the natives was like Red Rabbit or something, and for some reason she paints her nails different animals.
Yeah, that's part of her nail thing.
Yeah.
Does nail art. Yep.
Yeah. But she also had longer hair. She noticed she had dirt under her fingernails, and she was wondering why that was. And did she remember at this point?
I think it kind of brings it back in different... It brings her memory back in different ways because it does show... Should we spoil what happens to...
Go ahead.
So it does show that... what happened to Jess, yeah. And essentially, when Jess had remembered with the snake bite, it shows in this whole sequence that everybody all the girls had basically in the island had been assaulted.
Victimized, yeah.
Yeah. So, and all the men, I think, except for the younger guy, were complicit. They were all involved in doing that to them. So, and you also see, and this probably should have said, the movie does give a spoiler, or not spoiler, a trigger warning.
A trigger warning,
A trigger warning for
at the very beginning.
Yes, for assault. So that should be kept in mind.
Do you feel like they needed a trigger warning?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad they did, because if I didn't know that, I would be like, not to say, I mean,
it really because you see flashes. It didn't show anything or nothing like that. But if you were traumatized with something like that, it would trigger.
If you were a person who was in that situation or involved, like
it is best known that if you were, the trigger warning was needed.
Yeah.
Just in case.
You never know.
Yeah. And I think Zoe Kravitz kind of knew what she was getting into when she was making this movie.
Yeah.
There was a reason why she made this movie, but we're not gonna go into that. But
yeah.
But yeah, it basically
it shows what happened to the women, and then it showed that
because she remembered,
so they ended up taking her out.
Yeah. So then,
and Tree is trying to hold herself together to not expose the fact that she knows and that she's fighting.
Because then Slater will, do the same to her. So basically, they're trying to keep up this facade and trying to get all the women to kind of rise up. Yeah.
What do you think about that aspect of it? Like the women rising up, them kind of banding together. Because I
didn't have a problem with it. It's definitely very feminist, but I didn't have a problem with it because, of course, it's justified. But there's another part that I was kind of like more triggered by. So, yeah. Okay. Basically, they're trying to get everybody to remember, and then they remember and just start going after all the men, pretty much. And then it's not until they kind of get Slater King in his mansion that everything starts coming together, and starting to remember what's been going on, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I can't go through his whole speech, it was an amazing speech. It's probably my favorite part of the whole film, but yeah, it's a very good performance by Channing Tatum. And we were wondering why she would cast her, fiance or whatever. But I think Channing Tatum I think she chose the right choice. Channing Tatum did a very good job, so I'm not mad at it. I think Zoe Kravitz did an excellent. This is her first directorial movie. Would I have done a thriller?
As your first one?
As your first one?
Small choice. I'm not mad. For her,
but she did good. She did good. I wouldn't have picked it. I would have tried something simpler and then worked my way up. But that's just me. But anyways, I think what really triggered me was the ending. I didn't really like the ending.
Yeah, we've talked about this. The ending.
It's just kind of gives you the wrong. It kind of. I don't know. Rubs me the wrong way.
It rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. I don't know if that was her purpose or what. To kind of show that this is also not like to show you the extreme. To be like, it's both. It's bad in both ways. But
I don't like. That is an interesting interpretation of it because it's like her true intentions. Like even going back to the very beginning of the movie, you see that Frida admires wealth and status and wants to basically pull herself into a better situation than she was in initially. So I think that's kind of the through line through the whole movie. Like,
so what happened? Explain to the.
so essentially, the the building is on the mansion. The building is on fire, and Frida and Sarah, they are able to escape, and then it's revealed that
She leaves him alive.
that Frida pulls him out.
Pulls him out and leaves him alive.
Leaves him alive. She and Sarah's like, I hope you know what you're doing, or something to that effect. Like,
Yeah.
so, and it kind you don't really you don't realize that at first when they first.
Oh
get
yeah,
out.
she also put because he was vaping, so she put the
yes
the perfume in the vape.
In the vape. That was
Yeah.
the other thing because he
So
was about to
that's
take
how
her
he
out.
remembered, and he started remembering because he was trying to. He was for. No, he
was
forgot.
forgetting.
He forgot. He forgot because of the vape. So, just basically wiped his memory.
Yeah. And this whole thing of, and we also got to think the whole theme of the movie is forgetting versus forgiveness.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So, in that he's kind of he loses in his own game in a sense because he's trying to get them to forget because he realized that there was no place of forgiveness for him. Like he was when the movie begins, he's this disgraced billionaire because he did some heinous things, and even though he apologized, he realized that. Yep. He realizes that. Like, it doesn't change people that are upset. And he's like, well, if I can't be forgiven, I might as well make people forget.
That's deep.
And so,
man, it was so good.
And unfortunately, it shows where his true intentions are in the fact that, like, he's still abusive. He's still doing this to people. He was doing this to Frida even before they got to the island. Like, or he was doing that in a previous year.
Yeah.
So this wasn't even his first encounter, and there are hints to that. The fact that they've known that he's been there or that she's been there before. I think with certain clues, like with the finger, with the nails, with her hitting her head. So it's like this whole thing of like these recurring events in her life. That's a thing that that's definitely shown throughout. This trauma that she has, but also her wanting to elevate herself and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be rich and powerful like the people. Like
she basically uses it to get her what she wants, pretty much.
Yeah. So she ultimately becomes. She married. So it cuts to after she pulls him out of the fire and everything. Then it cuts to however long, some point later. And she's now married to him, and she also lets I think the psychiatrist know, like, hey, I know what you did, and she's
basically takes everything. She's now the director of the board and all that stuff. Yeah.
So she uses him to essentially
get what she wanted.
She wanted all along, and I also felt like it kind of sends the wrong message in a sense. I know Zoe Kravitz, she has her, right for her creative, freedom to do what she wants. But just the way I felt about it, it was like, it kind of sent the wrong message, especially with all the women that were victims. And it's like, people are never going to know.
Just because you're a victim doesn't mean it's right for you to do the same thing.
Well, it's not even that she does the exact, I mean, she does a similar thing.
Yeah.
But it's more so the fact that he's not even going to be, I mean, he is in a sense in his own like mental prison now, but it's like people aren't even going to know like he did all this stuff. Like he's essentially getting away scot-free, not in a physical sense, but in the people never know like, oh, he actually did was continuing to do these things to these women, to these people. So it's,
and her thing, this is her form of justice.
Yeah.
Also, what I want to get into, I don't know if you remember this, when she was saying, because he brings up the fact that, would you rather get, and then she says something to where like, oh yeah, I would want to forget, or something to that matter. I can't remember exactly, but I was like, and then the fact that she ended up getting what she wanted, and then, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, we didn't get. So are we going to answer the question?
It depends on where you stand on the spectrum, but I don't think there's anything, because it doesn't show everything.
True. But I will also say it's one of those things where, as a believer, I think you definitely have to test, the spirits in terms of like what, like if you feel like if you start watching the movie and you feel like I'm not really feeling this, like then you probably should turn it off,
right?
Because there are certain things that, I mean, it does get dark, and if you are a person, even if you're not necessarily a believer, but it's like if you do see something that is triggering or something that's dark, and it's something that is like it messes with your spirit, then I would say like that's not, and that goes beyond just this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, we
were talking about this today. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even though there is violence, and that's another thing. It definitely is violent. So I would say, definitely if you're younger, I wouldn't recommend like taking your kids.
Also, it promotes,
drug use and all that stuff.
Alcohol. So it's wherever you stand on the spectrum.
Of certain
I think
issues.
we were talking about like alcohol, like should Christians drink alcohol or whatever, and how do we stand on a lot of people will say, oh yeah, it's just not my conviction, or blah blah blah, and they try to use that to excuse everything that they do, which I don't think it applies. Like that's a whole nother subject, but it's just interesting we were talking about this.
So I mean, not to be too long-winded, because I think there are certain elements of this movie that may bother certain people. So that's why I will say, like, definitely read up ahead if you don't. I mean, if you watch this video, you probably spoiled all of it. But excuse me, I would say don't. Like if you're kind of on the fence, then I would say probably not. Even though I would recommend the movie just in terms of the quality of it. Even there were certain things I wasn't super on board with as far as the ending, but I think the overall journey I did appreciate.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, it was good.
For Zoe Kravitz first, so yeah. So those are our thoughts on Blink Twice.
Yep.
Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, were we gonna do a rating or anything?
I give it a 4.
Okay, probably give it 3.5.
Yeah. Okay.
3.5. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'll do 3.5. 3.5.
No, he brought it down, man.
Yeah, man.
Bring it down to average. I was 4. Okay, but okay.
3.5.
All right. So definitely post your comments. Post your opinions if you think this is a movie suitable for Christians if you've seen it.
I think Zoe Kravitz did. I hate to repeat myself, but I think she did a great job. Would I get this on DVD? Probably not. But or would I watch it again? Probably not. I just think that speech that Channing Tatum, that was great. But
true. I would say for me, the biggest compliment I could give the film, it makes me want to watch Zoe Kravitz's next movie, like the next thing that she does.
Definitely.
I'm excited for that. Like whatever she decides to do, whether it's a thriller, whether it's a drama, comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like she's really talented in a lot of different types of filming or filmmaking. I mean, this is her first actual feature that she's directed, but she's been in a lot of like superhero stuff. She's been in thrillers. She's been in
Yes,
dramas. So she's been in a lot of different things. So I think that's given her kind of like a taste of like what it would be to make that type of movie in the director's chair. Because I think a lot of great directors started off as actors. You have Dev Patel. He just released his first movie this year. We
reviewed that. Go check it out.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah. So there's countless others. I'm not going to just try to like pull people out of my head, but there's tons of other great directors who were actors and actors who, direct and then go back to acting. So it's like, I think, not to, beat a dead horse, but I think she'll have a great career as a director.
So, we'll leave it there and let us know in the comments what you think. And please tell your friends, your coworkers, your family. Let them know about this this channel. Yep. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Yeah, stop it.